Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with another Mixed Manny Chat. I am starting totally from scratch today because why not? I am going to start with my base, which is Color Street Ridge Filling Primer, and just talk about what's been going on in life and what have I been reading or listening to and all that good stuff. So if you're into listening to just chit chat about life and watching me do my nails, please continue watching. Otherwise, there's plenty of other content on YouTube for you to enjoy. Alright, so we are layering down the base first. I like using the Ridge Filling Nail Primer only because my nails in the summertime tend to be a little brittle. I need to drink a lot more water. That is definitely one thing I need to do. And with that reminder, I gotta remember where I put my water bottle, and it is right here. So, got my nice Coke water bottle there, and I'm gonna take a sip of water while I'm at it, since I'm reminding myself I need to drink more water. There's a big ice cube in there. But yeah, so I've actually, if you see the mess on the desk here, I've got some open sets because I've already done my toes this morning, and now I am moving on to my fingers. So yeah, it's been relatively busy morning. I am trying to get this done. There is some family time with the Rents, my parents. I like calling them the Rents. I don't know why. It's been something that I've done since I was a teenager. And Panda Bear, my significant other. We have plans to go have, is it late lunch, early dinner? I'm not quite sure what the plans are. All I know is we are going out to eat together today, and I also have two big projects that are going out at work tomorrow that I need to finish some prep work. So lots to get done on this Sunday fun day. But in order to have peace and tranquility, my me time, my nail time, which you all get to enjoy, because why not? I like making these videos only because it allows for me to be able to look back and just see, hey, what was going on in my life at that time when I used whatever Color Street nails I used on that specific day for that specific mani. I didn't have anything like in mind as far as the mani bingo, so if you guys who are watching who are part of Stacy Adams' Facebook group, link below in the description for her Facebook group and her YouTube channel. If you guys are part of her group, you may or may not be participating in the spring and summer mani bingo, and I have it right here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more bingo squares to do. And you know what? I just saw a bingo square I could totally accomplish with today. Neon. Because I am using the Color Street Color Play Color in Motion subscription box, which was the July subscription box. If you didn't see the unboxing video, click to the video above this one, and you will, or is it below? Above, below, whatever video was before this one posted, is the unboxing. But Rose Rush I already used on my toesies. It's this awesome neon pink, and then this is supposedly a neon mint, so it's gonna work. We are totally gonna make it work as a neon inspired mani. So I can cross off another bingo square because August is just around the corner, and I need to finish those squares because I love finishing. I love having a blackout bingo card, if at all possible. So But speaking of bingo, here's crossword puzzles. I love, love, love. The California Lottery has these crossword express. These are dollar ones. Now, mind you, they used to come out, or they still come out, but it used to only be like $3 ones, $5 ones, $10, $20, and $30, I think. And those are pretty pricey for just playing a game and hoping to win some cash. So when they came out with this dollar one, OMG, like, I had to have them, and Panda Bear had to go seek places. These are popular because a lot of different liquor stores and a lot of different donut shops that sell California Lottery scratchers are all sold out of them because they're very popular. But I had a stack of 20 of them that Panda Bear got me, and what I thought I had one was $20, because if you have 7 words you get $20, but if you get 8 words you get $100. Well, he came home the other day and was like, how much did you say you won again? And I was trying to like tell him, because I was still in bed. He was out really early and came back, and turns out I won $100. So needless to say, he got me another stack just for my enjoyment. But hey, if there's another hundo in there, more is, it would be fun. But yeah, surprise, surprise, I thought I won 20, but I actually won 5 times more that. So now I wish I had looked closer at that lotto scratcher and see what letter I had missed scratching off. But anyways, my nails should be dry now. So let's get started with the mixed Manny, and let's talk about what's been going on in life. Alright, so yesterday was supposed to be the movie marathon day for Descendants, the Disney's Descendants series, and A Squared, which my niece Amaryllis and Amelie, I like calling them A Squared, they wanted to do a movie marathon with Auntie of all the Descendant movies, because the Descendants, The Rise of Red just got released, and they were like binge watching that like over and over and over for the past week or so. And they had asked me, which one's your favorite Descendants movie? And I told them, like, yeah, The Rise of Red is really cool, but my very first favorite one was the original The Descendants, the first one, because I just really enjoyed like the origin story of the villain kids, the VKs, and you know, where they came from, how they didn't really feel like love from their parents because their parents are villains, and how villains don't understand the concept of love and all of that, and seeing them overcome the fact that they are villain kids to actually live amongst the folks that are, you know, good, in quotes I say, and just the whole human concept of it all, of good and evil, and how you kind of need that yin and yang synergy together. So anyways, I let them know that that one was my favorite, and they're like, oh, we should watch them all. I was like, yeah, we should watch them all. So last week we had watched The Rise of Red, and I had done a mixed Manny inspired by Red, the daughter of the Queen of Hearts from Wonderland. And they wanted to do nails this week for Chloe, Red's friend, best friend, I guess. It ends up being best friend. Well, I don't want to ruin the whole movie for everyone if you haven't seen it. I won't say much more about that, but they wanted Chloe's nails, which were blue, and very hard, mind you, to find. I couldn't find any of my Color Street nails fitting the right color. If you haven't seen Chloe's nails, let me just show you really quick. So Chloe looks like this, and her nails are this shade of blue. And it was very hard to find any color street. That's not really a color that I gravitate towards. And I don't buy like every single color street like set that comes out. So it was really kind of tough. I was looking through a lot of different colors to see if anything would fit. I had pulled Budapest, which Budapest was not the right blue. You can see that it's it leans too green and it's a little too deep. And then same thing with Wicked Cool. It was light, but then it leaned too green. And then I had no more of Brave and Bold. Brave and Bold would have been, I think, the closest to that blue, perhaps. But I didn't have any more of that. I had Fortune Teller. Fortune Teller, however, leaned to like red. So it's almost like purpley instead of that blue. And then another one I thought about was Blue Raspberry. But Blue Raspberry is a jelly, and so you can see that it doesn't really take on the color that it needed. Anyways, lots of talking about something that already happened. But we did our nails, and let me see if I can show you a photo of what it looked like in the end. I actually had to go out and buy a color. Sally Beauty had this color right here. It's called Oh Maui, and I thought that looked very similar to the blue, even though it's not the same. I know it's not the same, and I was even told so by A Squared. They're like, that's not the same color. I'm like, yeah, that's as close as it's gonna get. But here we are, my hands, and Amalika, the youngest, she's 5, turning 6, and then Lilith, who's 8. We got all our nails done to kind of be like Chloe. But in the end, we only watched the first Descendants movie, and then it got kind of late, like later in the day, and they're like, let's just fast forward to the 4th one. And I'm like, okay, whatever you guys want. And then they got distracted, and we're like, yeah, we don't want to watch anymore, and actually started reading books. You don't know how, like, I'm tearing up just thinking about it, but I love books. Like, I grew up where my mom took us to the library like every weekend to get books, and Lilith's already finished this one. When we went to the library the other weekend for the very first time in her life to check out books, she wanted this book. I didn't even know it existed. These books were books I grew up with, and I bought her for her birthday the set of 3 books from the series, because I thought there was only 3 books. But apparently in 2020, Lois Sakar, if I butchered his name, I apologize. I'm very bad with pronouncing names. But Lois wrote another book, and I'm like in the middle of reading this one because Lilith checked it out. Luckily, the library had it, and she read through it in like a couple days. And so now it's my turn, and I need to finish reading the stories, so I can compare notes with Lilith. And so, yeah, really excited that the kids are really into books, and Amalika's not quite at the age where she can read yet, but she's trying. She is definitely trying. And so there were a few books that I had purchased off of eBay, actually, just looking for the best price, and purchased that, and whatchamacallit, she was reading, Amalika was reading through those books, and that made me really proud. I'm a proud auntie. Love, love, love seeing when the kids are like influenced by good influences and wanting to read instead of watch TV, and that makes me happy. So Lilith was like, when are we going back to the library? I'm like, oh, well, I don't know, the books aren't due till August 3rd. But now I'm thinking that Panda and I need to rearrange our schedules so that we can take them a weekend early, which is next weekend. So, okay, lots of talk on all of that, but we are here to do nails, so let's do so. So what I wanted to do with this was I wanted to do a all of them with the mint sprint on the bottom and then the pink across it. And this actually was inspired by Amalika, because she did her nails one time with like my conventional nail polish. She combined the pink and this like minty green color, and it looked fabulous. And so it is definitely inspired by her. But yeah, let me just start laying stuff down here as I continue talking, because I tend to forget that I'm here to do my nails, and I chit chat a lot, and yeah. But anywho, that is the biggest news, or the biggest thing that I can think about as far as sharing with you what's been happening with life. Got to go to Zumba class with Mama Carla, my sister-in-law Carla. Call her Mama Carla because of her kiddos. And that was a lot of fun. That was on Friday. And I had to wear a sling. So my shoulder, my left shoulder, I don't know exactly how I injured it, but I have suspicions. When I was at Legoland, my nephew Calvin asked me to lift him up with one arm, and I did it because I'm strong like Luisa from Encanto, but I'm also older. And I did that with both arms, like once on the right, once on the left, and then I told him, okay, that's it. Auntie can't do it anymore. You can ask Uncle to do it. And I think in the process of doing that, I might have injured myself, but not just that, but that was like the start of the injury, because then with taking cardio kickboxing, and doing dance classes and having repetitive motions, with my like punching the air and like at work. So at work I changed the envelope fuser and the regular fuser in the copier all the time, and that weighs like 20-30 pounds. It weighs a good amount of weight, and I changed that myself, because I don't want to rely on IT or any man to help me, because I know I can do it. But the problem is that just because I know I can do it doesn't mean I should be doing it, especially when I've been feeling pains in both of my shoulders. It started on the right side first, actually, and it was unbearable to lay down and like lay on it. So I wasn't able to like lay on my side for a while in bed, because of the right shoulder. But then the right shoulder has corrected itself and it's no longer feeling any pain. But the left shoulder started having increasing pain. And so it was kind of bizarre, but I wasn't able to lay on that shoulder either. And it was hard to even lay straight on my back to sleep, because if I had my arm laying straight down, like in a flat position, it hurt so bad. And so anyways, Panda Bear was like researching stuff and thought that I might have like tears in there that need to be healed, and told me to not take kickboxing anymore for a bit so that I can heal and not like lift heavy things, and utilize that arm too much. Mind you, I am left-handed, so I'm so used to using that side of the body like all the time, because I'm left-handed dominant, and so I've had to like learn to adjust and use my right hand and right side to like manually open the garage door when I'm doing laundry. What other things do I have to like learn to do with my left hand? I mean my right hand. Anyways, you guys don't need to know all of that, but I bought a shoulder strap, like a shoulder thingy to kind of like secure my shoulder so that it's not moving too much when I'm taking my Zumba classes and my groove hip hop classes, because for now I don't want to give up any of my classes besides the cardio kickboxing. Like, I know I shouldn't be punching the air and lifting weights and all of that, so I swapped that class for another Zumba class, but I have to wear that shoulder sling while doing it, and I have rather fat arms, so even though I bought the biggest size, it is still irritating the inside of my bicep, and so now I have to find an arm sleeve to wear underneath it so that the Velcro part is not rubbing up against like my bare skin, because that's another pain to deal with, and that's no fun. It's a big irritation. Yesterday though, so my dad goes to an acupuncturist every so often that's a family friend, and he was able to squeeze not just my dad's appointment in, but also for me, for my left shoulder. And those needles are magical needles, but ooh, dude, does it feel super sore when they're like trying to like expend that negative stuff in your body. As it was happening, like he found the weak spot, the really weak spot. The first round it helped, but it wasn't quite like fully all done. And then he looked at another section of my bicep and shoulder, and he found the spot. The spot was right up front, actually. It was previously in the back, and it has moved. It's up front now, and he did his thing with the acupuncture needles, and now I'm able to raise my arm all the way up. Before, I wasn't able to raise my arm fully up without feeling a surge of pain. And now I'm able to do it. I'm able to raise my arms up all the way. But I still feel the soreness. So obviously it's not fully healed by one appointment with the acupuncturist, but at least I was able to sleep okay last night. So baby steps in the healing, but I'm hoping that I will heal sooner rather than later, because I want to go back to my cardio kickboxing classes. I love those classes. They're like one of my all-time favorites. So yeah. Anyways, enough about that. That is what I've been dealing with as far as physically. Mentally and emotionally is a different story. So yesterday was a long day, but it was a really good day. Just because a day feels long doesn't mean that it's bad. But it started off a little rocky. So after I woke up really early because I wanted to do my nails and, make sure that I had the right nail polish or color street for the Chloe nails I promised my niece. But when I searched through all of my nail polish and color street sets, I came up empty. And so that already affected my mental state in the morning, because I promised the girls and I didn't want to disappoint them. And so we were headed to the acupuncturist, and I had asked Panda Bear, oh, hey, can we stop by Sally Beauty after the appointment? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so I was searching online after my session with the acupuncturist and found, the right nail polish that I personally wanted to purchase. Mind you, if I'm doing something with my nieces, I'm not going to spend like a bunch of money on a nail polish that I probably won't wear very often. So I found one, the O'Maui that I mentioned earlier, that was decently priced and to me matched the color that I thought would be really like close enough to Chloe's nails. We got home and I did my nails with the Chloe style nails, and then I wanted to bake some cookies so that my parents could try the Earl Grey chocolate chip cookies that I had prepared earlier in the week but didn't have time to actually bake them. So I had rolled up and prepared the little balls of dough and refrigerated them because that was the instructions. Refrigerate them at least overnight before baking them. And they've been sitting in the fridge for like a couple of days. And I was like, oh, I gotta bake those. And I wanted my parents to try them out first. But as I was getting ready to bake them, Panda Bear's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the store so we can get the stuff for Carla to cook for dinner. And did you want to come? And I was like, oh yeah, I love going shopping. I love going shopping with Panda Bear. I don't get to go. That's one of my like main things is I love grocery shopping, finding deals, going down up and down all the aisles and all of that. That's like something that I really love doing. And so I didn't want to miss out on that. And so instead of communicating with him that I was in the middle of baking cookies, I was like trying to tell my dad to like, hey, in 15 minutes these cookies need to come out of the toaster oven. Can you take care of that for me? I'll call you from the grocery store. And he's like, well, my cell phone's charging, so call the house phone. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. I'll call the house phone, and if you could just take the cookies out of the toaster oven, that would be great. I told my dad to do this because my mom was on the phone, and I didn't want to interrupt her phone call. And so off Panda Bear and I went to the store, and while we were at the store and I was searching for the ingredients we needed and stuff, my alarm goes off, and I'm like, why is my alarm going off? And I was like, oh yeah, cookies. And so I called the house phone, but my dad did not pick up like he said he would. And so I was leaving a lengthy message, really loud, trying to like make myself heard so that, as the answering machine's taking down my message, I'm hoping that he's hearing it and going, oh yeah, the cookies. And I also sent a text to the group text for Panda Bear, my mom, and my pops. Just saying, hey, reminder, take the cookies out of the toaster oven. Thanks. We come home from the grocery store. And my mom's like, oh, I just took the cookies out. I'm like, you just took the cookies out? Wait, and why are you doing it? Dad was supposed to do it. And so I literally was like yelling. And I shouldn't have been, but I was. I totally went berserk over cookies, and they weren't, like, they didn't burn the house down, and the cookies weren't burnt. They were just very well done, very overcooked. And I was like, well, either you guys are going to eat these cookies or the garbage is going to eat these cookies, but these are for you guys, so enjoy. And I was being a bitch. I'll say it. I was on one, and Panda Bear was not having it, and he let me know that that was not cool, and I needed to cool off, and I needed to go get some sun and all of that. And so, whenever I get in those moods, all I want to do is I want to be in quiet and reflect and cool down. But whenever I get in those moods, Panda Bear likes to talk it out, and it drives me nuts because I just want to be alone with my thoughts and deal with it. But he likes to accelerate things to get things done faster, and so he likes to lecture me, or I take it as him lecturing me. Anyways, it does work. It does help, but in all of that, and then icing my shoulder before going to Carla's, he prayed for me to have patience. And I really appreciate it, because sometimes I can be very, like, frustrated with when things, don't go right. And it's important to have grace. I just finished listening to this audiobook, and in the audiobook it says that grace costs you nothing. And it's so true. And in the moment of it, it's hard to remember stuff like that, especially when my dad is getting older and his memory's not all there. And so that was like literally me trying to like set him up for failure. Because when we came home, he's like, well, Wendy never called me. And as he's saying Wendy never called me, he's like clearing the answering machine messages, and my loud voice on the answering machine is telling him to get the cookies out of the toaster oven. So, anyways. Yeah. His memory's not all there. His attention's not all there. And I need to remind myself of that. And so, Panda praying for me to have patience was really important for the rest of the day, because I'm dealing with my nieces, teaching them how to tie a ponytail. We're still in that process. Last week was it just last week? It was just last week. We were learning, teaching them to brush their hair and to tie a ponytail, because Carla needs all the help she can get in the morning, having to get 3 kids ready for school. Mind you, it's summertime right now, so it's not like she has to get them ready for school, but when it's time for school, it's not easy to have to deal with 1 autistic teenager and 2 little girls with a lot of hair. And so we're trying to teach, Uncle and Auntie are helping Mama Carla teach the kids how to be more self-sufficient. And one of the lessons, one of the trainings, one of the drills that Uncle calls them, is to tie a ponytail, so that if the girls learn to get their hair prepared in a ponytail, their mom can more easily style their hair and not have to take that extra time in brushing their hair out and putting into a ponytail in the morning. And so Malika, I showed them a video I found on YouTube. It's very hard to find videos of little kids on YouTube, and I get it, because lots of weird people out there, and so you don't want to expose your kids to being on camera and stuff like that. But I did find one video where this cute little girl, ironically named Chloe, was teaching how to tie a ponytail, and I was showing the video to Lilith and Amalika, and Lilith kept harping on the fact that, well, that girl's hair is not as long as mine, and it's not as thick as mine. But Amalika was really quiet. You can tell she was really trying to absorb the video. And of course, who learns to tie their hair in a ponytail first? Amalika. And she learned it from watching the video. And I was so proud of her. And Lilith was like, well, she has less hair than me. And I'm like, yeah, but your sister was keeping her mouth shut and keeping her eyes open and her mind open to watch that video and learn how to tie a ponytail all by herself. And look what she did. She tied it all by herself. And so in the end, Lilith did learn to tie a ponytail, but she's kind of like Auntie in the way that if it's not perfect, it's not worth it, right? And I've been trying very hard to like get rid of that mindset because nothing is perfect, and to be able to be okay with whatever progress I can make, you know, in that moment. And so Lilith had me tie her hair up, which was fine. And I used it as a teaching opportunity to continue teaching Amalika, who's very, very open to learning how to kind of keep the hair smooth and tie the ponytail up tight and high so that it's out of the way. And so Amalika was taking it all in. And then Amalika wanted to continue with her practice. She's like, oh, I want to tie two ponytails. I want to do pigtails. And so I was like, great. Like, and then Lilith was very helpful. She's like, oh, Amalika, don't use that little black hair tie. Let me go get you another one. And so she went and grabbed a matching hair tie for the one that Amalika had. And I told Lilith, I was like, Lilith, that was very helpful of you. Like, I totally would have gone crazy looking at Amalika's pigtails had they had two different hair ties in them. And she's like, me too. And so, yeah, really great bonding moment in the matter of 30 minutes of the day. And so I thought that that was really special. And the fact that Panda Bear prayed for patience, that really helped me in dealing with all the little things that came up while we were all like distracted and whatnot. The little shelving area where all the snackies and their homework assignments from the school year and other little miscellaneous things, that whole thing collapsed. And luckily nobody was hurt, but like the shelving unit thing are just these little like plasticky metal grids that my friend Na had given to us. And she warned me too. She's like, okay, if you're going to use these, make sure that you don't put too much stuff on it. They can't bear a lot of weight. I think it's like less than 10 pounds or something like that. And I did, when we put that whole grid shelving thing together, I even told the girls, because A Squared helped me put together the grid. I told them, hey, make sure don't put too much heavy things here. It's not meant to carry heavy things. And they were like, yeah, we got it. But the whole shelving thing collapsed. And I don't know if it was because of the heat and it warped some of the pieces or whatever, but it was a hot mess. Like, and I mean literal hot mess, because we were already really warm. The house was just really warm. And there was everything scattered on the floor. Nobody was hurt. And we had to think, as the adults, Panda Bear, Carla, and I had to assess. Do we want to put this thing back together? Or is this thing now unsafe? And we need to find an alternative. But in the end, we decided, okay, this thing has held together for very long, and something must have happened where the structure of it got compromised and it fell over. I don't think that this is a thing that will happen like again if we make sure to just put it together really carefully, start from the foundation, the base up, and get it all done. And so all of us as a family, the girls were helping sort through some of the stuff, and Mama Carla, Panda Bear, and I were taking the whole thing apart so that we can start from the base up. And it took a while. This was right before we were serving dinner too. But again, because Panda Bear had prayed for patience for me, we as a team were able to overcome that challenge together. And I think it built a stronger bond with all of us as a family, having not lost our cool despite the heat, and really just pulling together and putting that whole shelving unit back together. And so, yeah, that was quite a journey. We earned the delicious dinner that Mama Carla made for us. And what's funny is that in the morning when I had sent Carla a text saying, hey, are there any specific dinner plans? And she had said, oh no, I hadn't started thinking about it yet. And I was talking with Panda Bear, and he was like, oh, you know what? Like, because I was asking him, hey, is there anything you've been craving that you want to eat that we can suggest for Carla to make? And we ended up landing on machaca. Machaca is this shredded steak with egg and peppers and onions, I think. I don't remember exactly all the ingredients that goes into machaca, but we settled on that, and Panda Bear was like, oh yeah, that reminds me of my dad. He used to make that all the time, and he did. When Panda Bear's and Carla's dad was alive, we had machaca like, it was like almost weekly in rotation. And we hadn't had that in a long time. And ironically enough, his dad's birthday is coming up. Their dad, my father-in-law, his birthday's coming up. And so it was just very fitting. It's like he's with us. Even though he's not physically with us in the world. Spiritually, we are still thinking about him, and he still has influence on us. And so we had machaca with beans. Carla makes the best beans, and yellow rice. I really wanted yellow rice, even though Carla was explaining like how dishes are traditionally done as far as like color. Color is really important to the plating of a dish for Mexican dishes. But she made the yellow rice because I was really, really craving and wanting that. And oh, it was so delicious. I don't know how she makes the simplest things taste so good, but Mama Carla is definitely a great cook. You could feel the love in the food. And the only other person that I've ever felt that when eating food is my mom's food. When she makes her like specific dishes that she is known to make, oh, you can taste the love in that. It's so good. And so, yeah, overall, really amazing Saturday, rolling into an awesome Sunday. Even though I do have a lot of work to do, it's still continuing with my 3 favorite F's: family, food, and fun. And so I'm taking care of the fun part now, which is getting my nails done and doing my own thing for self-care. But then I've got my family and food to look forward to this afternoon, and in between that, getting some work done, which helps strengthen my family food fun. It funds the food and fun, right? So yeah, but what's funny about it is that some of the topics that we've been discussing as a family have led me back to something that my high school marketing teacher, Miss Rankador, she'll always be Miss R to me, even though now she's married. We're Facebook friends, but back in high school when I took marketing, poor Miss R had to deal with some rowdy students. We were a rambunctious bunch of students. And one of the books that she had all of us read were the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. And I will never forget reading that book and kind of being inspired by what was in it. And decades later, here I am, and I'm listening to the audiobook for the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is not too different from the book that I read as a teenager, but it's still a little bit different. And it's definitely different hearing it from the author many decades later, and being able to apply what was in that book to modern times. And so it's really fascinating to me. And even like my dad, because I was out there hanging the laundry this morning before coming in here to do my nails, I was listening to the end part of the book, and he was like, "Oh, is that the author? Oh, he sounds really old." I'm like, he is really old. I mean, that book came out in the late 80s. And, you know, he's reading it, you know, relatively, you know, more modern times now. And so my dad was also kind of half listening to the book as I was doing laundry. But yeah, okay. First, let's pause. This is Mint Sprint, and I'm going to be putting Rose Rush across it. And actually, originally I was going to lay it across like this, but I'm wondering if I want to do tips. I might actually want to do tips. So let me get my hole punch. Ugh. Do I want to do tips? Shoot. This is what happens sometimes. I think about things and then I'm not prepared. Okay, no. Let's not do tips. Oh, sorry. That was snot. I was crying earlier. My bad. You never know what you're going to see on this channel. Alright. Let me put these away first. And we will figure out what we're going to do with the Rose Rush, because I'm kind of digging these nails as is, but I do want to add the accent because we are using neons. And let's see, stick those in, heat seal them later. And actually, let me turn on my little flat iron to heat seal. For those that are new, Color Street is 100% nail polish. They're one-time use product, but I do like to heat seal them and try using them again later, especially on my nieces when we're doing like little mixed manis and stuff like that. But anyways, okay. I think what I want to do with this is I want to put stripes across. So I'm gonna cut these up. But I also want to save the right sizes for my niece. She wanted pink nails. And so I want to save some of these strips that I know she'll be able to use. So there's the pinky with ring and thumbs. And save these two. Save these two. Okay. So that leaves me with 2 strips. Which I'm going to cut. And actually, no, we're just going to cut one because I'm going to use one for my nail stick here. I think I know what I want to do. I'm going to cut out a heart. I'm going to cut out a heart accent, and I'm not going to combine the pink with the green because I'm loving this green right now so much that I don't want to cover all of it up. So that means the next thing I need to do is find my hole punches. And we are going to do a heart hole punch as an accent finger and call it a day because I said so. That's the mood I'm in right now, and that is what we're going to do. Now, do I want to do a heart or do I want to do a tulip? Do I want to do a tulip? No, I think I want to do a heart. Let's stick with the original idea. If I can find that heart hole punch. Or do we want to do little tippies? We might actually be able to do little tippies. So many different ideas. My bad. Okay. Where is that heart hole punch though? Oh, I found it. Here we go. Yeah, I think we're gonna do the heart because that's the easiest, and this video has already gotten way too long. So let's get this done. Alright. 2 hearts. That's 1. Oh, don't fly away. And then that's 2. Okay. Let's get these here. Always the most difficult part of this is, do you face the heart facing people, or do you face it facing towards yourself when you're looking at your nails? I personally like facing it. I think I like doing it this way, only because when I do nail fees, I like them facing this way. There we go. Here we are. And then we've got one more. I think I might save that Manny Bingle square for a different Manny because this doesn't feel too neon enough for fulfilling on that. So it's okay. Sometimes things change. You just gotta adjust and deal with it. Alright, here we go. Alright. All I gotta do now is wait for it to cure for a bit and then put a top coat. But that's our mani for today. I think it's awesome. I really like that mint sprint. I don't know why, but it's just a really pretty color in my opinion. And I didn't want to cover it up. So yeah, there we are. And if you watched all the way through, congrats, you made it to the end. And let's have you put a pink heart in the comments, or you can write a comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, share, like the video, and I will see you all next time. Peace.